Is the market breaking down? There is one event we're looking forward to this week that could tell us. We're going to look at also, once that event is over, where we need to look to see what to expect going forward. We're going to look at Ethereum upon the request of a channel member. And we will be taking a look at some of our favorite stocks and a little bit of Bitcoin miners. Things have been pretty interesting. But before we get going, check out the channel memberships. You get your most bang for your buck in the stalagmite level, where you get those real-time trade posts showing exactly what I'm doing and when I am doing it. Members-only videos also come at that level. We've also got Soda Straw and Stalactite, where you get the badges, you get the emojis, priority replies, early access to new videos. If you're in Stalactite, you get the member shout outs as well. All right, let's get into this thing. So first of all, this chart, we've been looking at this chart for a while. This is the MAGS plus Oracle plus Palantir plus AVGO. We came down to the 50-day moving average on that bad boy, and we bounced on hard, like heavy volume. So this is interesting. We might actually see the thing bounce up and come up back into the channel. We'll see. But we did cross beneath the ATR, the average true range stop loss area. So unless we return back above 763.92 on this chart, unless we return back above that very quickly, I'd be looking at this as only a dead cow bounce and then a continued rollover. So we're going to be watching that very carefully. One thing that I thought was interesting, if I do the global liquidity index over this, this little run up here has followed it pretty closely. It's followed it pretty closely. Like, it came down with it, started going up before the liquidity started going up, right? And then in this recent thing, we had the wobbles came in perfect timing, went up, came down again with perfect timing, and will it come back up again with perfect timing? We'll see what happens there, but I thought that was very interesting. This is even more closely related than Bitcoin was, at least in the short term. So we'll be taking a look at that. I did do a little buy on Palantir yesterday, largely because this candle with this volume was huge. Look at this volume. This is volume. We haven't seen volume this big since, what just happened? We haven't seen volume this big in months, right? In a couple of months, since February. And then before that, September of last year. So almost a year since we've seen volume like that. And what came through after big volume spikes like that? Now, it drove a little bit higher. Did roll over, but a little bit higher before it rolled over. Same thing here, I want to say. Let me see. Yeah, about right here. What happened here? We got the buy. It went a tiny bit higher and then rolled over. So I'm looking to go a little bit higher and then possibly rolling over. And last time we got this huge spike right here. Look at it right there. Yeah, it went a tiny bit higher and then did a pullback in time and then went higher. So yeah, I'm looking forward to hopefully drive just a tiny bit higher, like 159, 160, and then if it's going to roll over, see it happen there. The other thing is sector rotation. If we look at the RSP, notice how yesterday a lot of these things were falling. Well, let's go over here. So a lot of stuff was falling, but the RSP held strong yesterday. Actually, that's showing a little more weakness today, but it's actually just still hanging out around the highs there. Didn't really do a whole lot. Didn't really open or close any higher or lower than it was. So that's showing that the sell-off was really just in those top 10 stocks, and that was it. But those top 10 stocks make up 39, almost 40% of the entire stock market. So that is why we're seeing those sorts of things. All right. And the event that we're looking forward to is going to be Jackson Hole. Jackson Hole is tomorrow. So today we've got initial jobless claims that came out already, which came out higher than expected. So that's more fuel for the Fed to cut. Philadelphia Fed manufacturing survey came out way lower than expected. So we might actually get a bad sell-off today. So I might end up taking a loss in that Palantir position because I'm not holding it through that. PMI services, all right. Manufacturing PMI is going to come through as well. That's also going to be important. I really hope that the manufacturing PMI is up at that 49.5 or higher, because generally we see a rally in risk assets, including cryptos, when that manufacturing PMI gets up above the 50 range. So hopefully we can see that happen. leading economic indicators, yeah, that's more or less. But the thing we're really waiting for is Jerome Powell to speak and see what he does. And once he does speak, we're going to go with the CME Fed Watch tool. CME Fed Watch, come in here. This is the real thing that's going to tell us. Like Jerome Powell, he may or may not give us any hints whatsoever. But as long as this right here stays above 55%, we're getting a rate cut in September. Okay, anytime this is 55% or higher, we get that rate cut. So right now it's at 80%. So as long as it doesn't fall beneath 55%, we're going to get our rate cut in September. So that's what I'm watching, CME Fed Watch tool. All right, let's go take a look at Ethereum real quick. Upon the request of a member, we're going to take a look at Ethereum. So Ethereum, oh yeah, okay, I don't hate this. All right, so this is looking like a nice little stair step, right? And we've still got this second angle of attack here on this particular run up. Like angle 1 is down here, right? Angle 2 is right there, with the low currently on today being about 39.35 on that one. We have a bit of a bull flag forming. Nice little bull flag right here. Let me draw this bad boy. Nice little bull flag right there. We're starting to come out of it too. So if we close just above 43.75 on Ethereum, we should see it at least try, make an attempt for 4,700 again. And that would be pretty exciting. We do have the BX trender does look not great, doesn't look great. The RSI is looking like it wants to do a 50 retest and then run. So we might bounce off the 20 again, down at 41.39. But this is a constructive chart. This is a pretty constructive chart. We've been making higher highs and higher lows since back here in June. We came up, made a higher low, came up, did a bull flag, went up, higher, higher low, higher high. This was a bit of a lower low here, but that was part of that structure, which overall was still let me do this. This was still a higher low right here compared to this low down here. So that's part of that structure. And then let's go over here. We got again a higher high and a higher low. As long as we hold that low and we don't break underneath, let me do that a little cleaner actually. As long as we don't break underneath 33.75, we're still making higher lows, and that has us open for higher highs. We have not made a new all-time high yet, even though there was that one day on Coinbase where it showed that it had made a new all-time high, but it hadn't. And I think I made a post about that. I was like, wait, what? That's not right. Later on. But yeah, so long as this thing is above 3,375, we are looking pretty good at coming up and at least running for 4,700 and possibly even that all-time high on Ethereum. So I like this. This is very constructive on Ethereum. Nothing is broken down yet on Ethereum. Ethereum is looking great, which is why I entered a position on SBET yesterday. I did a cash secured put on SBET yesterday, $20 one, so it was a little bit aggressive because I'm looking at this chart. It came down to that 618, went a little bit lower towards that 786, came up, and this could easily end up being a double bottom that takes us back up to even $40. So I'll be getting very aggressive with my cash secured puts, especially if it gets above this $25 level. I might even go into calls. And why SBET? Simply because it takes about half the capital is Bitmine right now. Bitmine is making a very similar thing. They're doing more of a cup and handle sort of situation right now at Bitmine, but Bitmine has a higher capital requirement. So I'm looking at, I want to see it actually get back up above some of the structure here before, at least break out of this wedge here before I'm interested in getting back into Bitmine. Okay. We'll look at Bitcoin as well really quickly here. Bitcoin it's not great. All right. Bitcoin's not looking fantastic. Now, we do have a higher low here with a same or slightly lower actually. RSI, is it the same? No, it's the same, with the same RSI. So that could be seen as like a weak form of divergence, which could send us higher. We'll see. This does look a little bear flaggy though, but we are down at the bottom Bollinger Band. But we are also in like no man's land here with volume. So it could fall down to 105 or spike right back up to about 117. So Bitcoin is in a place of indecision at the moment. Now, I have been adding to my Bitcoin and Bitcoin miner positions largely because global liquidity is lining up with that fall here, and it soon should be trying to climb a little bit higher. We'll see. We'll see if that comes to fruition or not. I've also got a couple of fractals on there. Do I want to look at those right now? Oh yeah, I got a couple of options here for fractals that are from 2021 and 2020. Basically, I was trying to find one that it followed pretty nicely, which this one was. This one it followed pretty nicely. Let me hide indicators real quick. Here we go. Make it a little more clear here. Yeah, so it's been following this fractal. Like this was much higher, but like similar kind of pullback in time. Then it went up, then it went up, right? Came down hard and then climbed. And then soon after this, we should be seeing a low if it follows this and then climb higher. Every single alert on Earth is going off right now. Stop it, please. And then this is like the bear case one that I've got where it did a similar thing, right? It came up, paused, went up, came up, and then it broke down from here and then went lower. So, there's a bull case and a bear case right here. So we're kind of at a precipice where it could go much higher or it could go much lower. So Bitcoin, I'm just choosing to take risk here, but I will be looking to cut that risk if we get into the low 100s. So pay attention for that stuff for sure. What else do we want to talk about today? We'll look at a couple of Bitcoin miners, not all of them. There's a few that I want to highlight today, just because they've been really hot lately. So Wolf getting really tagged by Google lately, and it has been just on an absolute tear ever since. It's just gone up and up and up and up. I think we're up how much since Google tagged them and gave them like the spotlight? Right now they're still up 70% from that, but at one point they were up 100% from that. So I'm assuming it's going to cool off now unless it gets further good news. But Wolf shifting hard to AI, and I think a lot of other Bitcoin miners are watching because that was a big deal for them. Like Mara could benefit from that because Mara is also trying to shift to more AI. With CleanSpark getting a new CEO, they might start talking about it as well. Look, we lost the blue line, so we lost that blue line. I'm fully expecting us to come back to about 850, by the way. On CleanSpark, that sucks. Iron has made that shift to AI, and it is not breaking down like it has before. Usually, I'd be looking at this and I'd say, oh, double top, like I said back here, right? Or even right here when I saw that big wick. It did come down a little bit, but that was just a little correction. Usually, when it was, when there was less hype around the AI story for them, it would have come back all the way back down to support, which would have been around $10. So we didn't get that this time, and they have a lot. There's a lot more going on with the AI narrative now as well. So that is interesting. If we lose this volume on the right here one more time around $18, though, I would expect it to at least cool off to the midpoint of that double top there, about 1530. But if not, this thing could just keep climbing, especially if they get tagged by a hyperscaler like Wolf did. This thing could take off. This thing could double overnight. So that'd be pretty crazy. What else? Hive is also doing a lot with AI and power and stuff. So Hive is heavily high on my list. I got quite a lot of call options on this bad boy. I really want to see this one continue to climb. Right now, I really would like to see it take out this high 255 and go higher. We'll see though. If we lose this line right here, I'm looking at it to come at least back down to about 216, maybe even as low as $2. Bitfarms, same sort of thing. A Riot's been selling out and they're almost done. They've almost got that stain of Riot off of themselves. And they are still holding above my double bottom here, so I'm still holding on to Bitfarms. Also, we got serious sector rotation going on. Let's see. Was it Spider Funds? SPDR sector funds. We still got rotation coming through, and if you looked at this yesterday, sponsored material there, that's annoying. Anyways, let's see. Healthcare still up, real estate still up, consumer staples up again. Energy is now coming with them this time. Notice technology is down and has been down 3 days in a row. We are seeing rotation into healthcare, consumer staples, and real estate right now. If you're not in any of those, you should probably pay attention to those, especially like right now. I've been watching UNH very carefully. I'm looking at UNH to make a little bull flag here and then break out to about 377. And that's going to be a pretty sick run. I'm also looking at MOH, Molina Healthcare. They came down. They're forming something of a cup and handle. It might come back down to about 165, and then I am targeting about 215 to 220. I have already taken a position in mRNA. I think I might be down on that. mRNA. If I could type, that would help. It is coming down pretty dramatically, which is kind of upsetting. In fact, I might end up cutting that one today because that is really annoying. It should be going up with its sector, but it's not. Another one is AbbVie. That one's been getting a lot of attention right now, and you can see it's taking off. There's quite a few of those as well. And then you've got like WPC Carry. That's a REIT. They have been tearing up the last few days. Like this is a bull flag, and it's tearing out of that bull flag and going higher. So that's one of the areas you could look at. There's a lot of real estate, not just that. No, that's just one I know the ticker of off the top of my head. And then we've also got, what else? Consumer staples. So Pepsi's been continuing to run. I sold out on my Pepsi, and I'm looking to actually re-enter Pepsi because we're getting that rotation into consumer staples. And in fact, right here might be an area I'd be willing to take risk as long as it holds above that 149. If it goes under 149, I'd be looking at about 144, 143 to take risk, which is at that 200-day moving average, which it might retest once the 20 here wants to cross up on the 200. And then I'd be looking at Pepsi, at the 160s to 170s as a run from there. This also includes things like you can go in here and look at what makes up these stocks or these ETFs. If we go down here, you just go to holdings. You can see the top 10 holdings. Got Walmart, Costco, Procter and Gamble, which is one I was holding for a little bit, and I probably let go of way too soon. Coca-Cola, Philip Morris, Pepsi, Altria, Mondelez, Colgate, Keurig. Those are all in there. So I would go and take a look at those and see which ones are looking constructive or the most constructive. XLV, we go to their holdings. Same thing. We come down here. Eli Lilly, J&J, AbbVie, UNH, Abbott Labs, MRK, TMO, which was a pick I had before, and TMO went nuts. If you got into that one, I missed it because it just took off in one day. But look at this, TMO's just on a tear, and it's been on a tear, and probably will continue to do so at some point. Anyways, we're seeing sector rotation. Pay attention to that stuff. Anyways, that's all I've got for you today. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Check out the Trade Cave store, link in the description, as well as the channel bio. Don't forget about the channel memberships. We're doing some awesome things there, especially in the stalagmite level. And have a profitable day.